Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome. We've got people here. That's crazy. Let me know in the chat who you are, where are you from, what do you want to do today? My plan is to do some basic dance moves that you can do at home because we're all quarantined and it's very boring. I imagine that everybody that's here already knows who I am, but just in case, I'm Samantha. I am with Love.Live.Dance in Salt Lake City, Utah, and we're going to dance today. And it's going to require a lot of interaction on the part of the chat, I imagine. So let me know who you are, where are you from, what do you want to dance today, and we'll get started. It's a little crazy to be doing this live. So we'll see what happens. And if folks don't post in the chat, that just means you're lurking, which is okay too. But that means that I'm going to have to talk just out into the ether for the entire time, which I guess could be good, or it could be really weird. We'll see. All right, well, we will get started. If you have any questions as we go along, just let me know. Don't be afraid to post in the chat. So we're gonna get started with a basic American Rumba box step. It works really great for pretty much most pop music, most rock music, a lot of country music, and it's very small, so we can do it in the safety of our own home. I do wanna put one quick disclaimer. Take 2 seconds, look at the room around you if you are going to be participating in this. If you have a glass coffee table, maybe, move it out of the way. Make sure that you have enough space around you. Grab a loved one, grab a pet, grab yourself, I guess, and we'll get started. So we're going to start with a American box step, or American Rumba box step, rather. And that is going to be forward on your left to start. So we have forward on the left, side with the right, close our feet, backwards on the right, side with the left, and close our feet. So I'm actually going to turn around so that you can kind of mimic what I am doing as well. So one more time, we're going to go forward on the left, side with the right, close our feet, backwards on the right, side left, close the feet, forward left, side together, backwards right, side together, forward left, side together, backwards right, side together. How'd we do? Hi, Josh. Let's do that box step again. So if you are brand new, the box step is the same for your waltz and your American Rumba at a very base level. The difference is American Rumba, we're going to be dancing it in 4/4, so 4 beats per measure. Since we're only taking 3 steps per half though, that means that we've got to find an extra count somewhere along the way. So we're going to count this in slows and quicks. A quick is 1 count, a slow is 2 counts. So if we back up so that you can see my footwork. As I go forward on my left, I'm counting that as a slow. Side is a quick, closing the feet is a quick. And then going backwards, I'm going to count that as a slow again. Slow, quick, quick. So with our counts, we have slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, and quick, quick. The other way to count it, of course, would be to go 1, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, 7, 8, 1, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 6, 7, 8, but I'm going to be counting it as slows and quicks because it's just a little bit easier for me to keep track of. Any questions so far? So far, so good. I'll give the chat a moment to catch up. Yes, no, maybe so. I'm going to take your silence as a yes, we're good to go. So I am going to bring in my amazing assistant for this, my husband, so that we can demonstrate what that looks like with a partner. So both the follows part and the leads part are exactly the same. The only difference is, as a follow, I'm going to be going backwards on my right first, and then switching and going forward on my left second. So if you have a partner, now's the time to bring them in. We're gonna talk about frame and hold for just a second, and then we'll try this together. So whoever is leading, in this case it's gonna be Matt, I'm gonna ask you to pretend like you are holding a giant beach ball. There we go. So I'm gonna have him turn just a little bit.
Go, where am I going?
Perfect, right here. So he's gonna roll his shoulders back and down, his elbows are out, he's created a nice round frame for me to step into. So as a follow, I'm gonna step in, raise my hand up to the sky, and then put my hand down on top of his bicep. He's then gonna close his hand to the back of my shoulder blade, and then we're just gonna clasp hands on this side. If we turn 90 degrees to the camera, you're just gonna see that we're just holding hands. While we're here, you're also gonna notice that we're slightly offset from each other. So I'm not lined up directly in front of him. I'm off to the side ever so slightly. So my left leg is outside of his, and if he swings his left leg back and forth, he's not gonna kick me either. This is gonna protect our toes as we're dancing. So without further ado, if you are leading, you're gonna go forward on the left. If you are following, we're gonna go backwards on our right. And we have slow, side, together, and then we're gonna switch. Slow, side, together. We're gonna go again. Slow, quick, quick, 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 slow, and quick, quick. All right, how did Rudy do? So far, so good? Again, crickets in the chat. I need to know. I need feedback. Yes, no, maybe so. Possibly. We're considering it. We just have it on in the background and we're not actually paying attention to it. Also okay. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our first pattern of American Rumba. So that's our basic, that's your basic box step. We're then gonna go into an underarm turn combination. So I'm gonna demonstrate the leads footwork first, and then I'm going to switch to the follows footwork second. So, doing good, yes, awesome. Okay, so with the leads footwork, for the underarm turn, you are just going to do two basics. So leads are starting forward on your left. We have slow, side, together. As we close and get ready to step backwards on our right, I'm gonna remove my right hand and lift my left hand to my left. So I'm gonna create space for my partner and then continue. Side, together, slow, quick, quick. When I get back to this corner for the second time, I'm going to bring my partner back into frame. So I'm going to close and step back and side, together. So one more time for all of my lovely, lovely leads. We have slow, side, together. We release, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. And then I'm going to collect and step back, slow, side, together. So again, you're just doing two basics in place. After you do the top half of your first basic, you're going to lift your hand to the left and remove your right arm. And then as you step back the second time, you're gonna bring the partner back into frame. Okay, for my follows, we are going to do something slightly more complicated, but nothing too crazy. I am gonna turn around to demonstrate this so you can follow along with my footwork. So we are going to start with the back half of our box. We have slow, quick, quick. As we get to this corner, our partner is going to remove their right hand from our shoulder blade and raise our right hand to our right. Our first step is going to be straightforward like normal. So we have slow, and then I'm going to take 5 more steps around an invisible hula hoop to my right for quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. And then I'm going to finish going forward, side, together to close back into frame. So one more time. We have slow, side, together. He releases, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. And then I'm going to step forward, side, together to come back into frame. Any questions so far? Or are we doing all right? Let's try it with a partner, shall we? So I'm going to bring Matt back in and we're going to try it together.
All right.
All right. So we're going to take a step back. All right. So my wonderful partner is going to be starting forward on his left. I'm starting backwards on our right. We have slow, quick, quick. He's going to release and then continue his box. I'm going to start underneath the arm. And we have slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. And then we complete the box by coming back into frame. So we're going to try that one more time. This time we're going to turn 90 degrees so you can kind of see my path on this turn. We have slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, and slow, side, together. And we're back to where we started. All right. Shall we try it with music maybe?
Sure.
Let's try it with music. So, it is all thanks to YouTube's music audio player. So if you have a Rumba playlist that you prefer or you find one online, please by all means use it. But for today, we're going to be using some copyright-free stuff. And let me know if it is too loud, because we're still trying to figure out the balance on everything. All right, so with your partner or by yourself, if you're practicing this on your own, is good, awesome. Let's do 2 basics, and then we'll do an underarm turn, 2 basics, and then an underarm turn. So we have 5, 6, 7, and slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. We're going to do our underarm, slow, side release, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, and start from the top. Basic, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, underarm, slow, quick, release, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, one more, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, underarm, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, and side together. All right, how'd everybody do? So far, so good? Hopefully. Let me turn that music down. There we go.
So for anyone who's watching, obviously I know when you plan to do a turn, and you know when you plan to do a turn.
Yeah.
But if you're actually dancing this,
how does it work?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So in ballroom dance, we have what we refer to as leads and follows. The leader, as the name would suggest, is responsible for deciding when we switch to different patterns, when we need to change different patterns, or what's going to happen next. So for this pattern in particular, when we have the lead step back and release that right arm and raise the left hand, that is actually going to be the follow signal that they would like us to do an underarm turn. Now, ballroom dance, even though it's lead and follow, really is supposed to be a conversation. So as a follow, I can be stubborn and not listen to the signals that my lead is giving me, or maybe my lead signals too early or too late. So as you're practicing with your partner, make sure that you are kind of cluing into those signals and discussing, was that too early? Was that too late? Hey, maybe I'm dizzy and just don't want to turn for the 50th time. So yes, so in this particular pattern, when you lift your left hand to the left, that is my signal for me as a follow to go underneath the arm.
But it's the left hand lift that's driving it, not the release over here. Correct,
right. Absolutely. So the left hand lift is the signal for the lady or the partner, the follow, to turn. The right hand coming off the back is actually just an opportunity to create space and create room. So an example of something that I would probably correct if we were in an in-person lesson would be if, we'll take a couple steps back. If as you were doing this, so we take our top half of our box, we have slow, quick, and you keep that hand on my back even though you're signaling. What that does is it kind of creates a push effect. So if we continue through, slow, quick. If you were to keep that hand on my arm, eventually this shoulder is not going to be able to rotate anymore. So if we actually turn so you can kind of see that. So we have slow, quick, and he's going to keep that hand. It's not actually helping me to say like, hey, turn here. It's actually going to stop my shoulder from being able to rotate, and it's going to feel really claustrophobic. So that's why I say pull that hand off the back. It gives me much more room. So if we try it with the hand off the back, we have slow, quick, slow. See, that's so nice. I've got all this room and I can breathe and my shoulder can rotate. And then once I'm back in front, you can just close that hand to bring me back into frame.
And is there a better thing I should be doing with that hand instead of just...
Yeah, it kind of depends on your personal style. I normally would recommend just taking that hand completely off, almost like you're doing a straight board. So just pulling that hand over. That way, as the partner comes back, their hand can just slide back onto the bicep and you can close.
Gotcha.
But if that seems super uncomfortable, or if that's too formal or too fancy or too whatever, you can always just drop that hand to the hip and then just make sure that you come up and around when you close her back into frame.
But you can do anything.
Yeah.
Jazz hands, whatever.
Yeah. If you want to do spirit fingers while your partner is turning, you can absolutely do that. And same thing with the follow. As we're turning, I can have the arm out, nice and elegant. I can have it down. I can have it up. I can do some hair curls. Whatever I want to do with that free hand, it's up to me. It's up to my personal styling.
All right.
Yeah. Any questions from the chat since we're talking? Since we're clarifying things. 10 points if you karate chop the couple next to you. So, if you are not doing this in the safety of your own home, or you have no one else around you, definitely make sure that you have some floor awareness, because worst possible thing on the dance floor is for you to get like hit in the neck or karate chopped or smacked in the face because the couple next to you wasn't paying attention. So if you're on a crowded floor post-quarantine, you can drop that hand down if you're in more confined space.
Or it's how you can keep that social distancing.
Yes. Yeah. Just wide frame to create social distancing is also a possibility.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we want to try that one more time before we move on? Keeping up with you. Yes. Okay. So let's try that one more time. I'm going to put on one more like short 30-second piece of song. Let's do that same pattern that we just did. So 2 basics, an underarm turn, 2 basics, an underarm turn. And here we go. All right.
Which way are we facing?
Let's face this way. Why not?
All right.
All right, here we go. And 5, 6, 7, 8. Slow, slow it, quick, slow, slow it, quick, slow.
Sped this up a little.
It's a little bit faster. We'll do an underarm turn. So that's the great thing about American Rumba is it works to a large variety of music. So if you have a slower song, like a Frank Sinatra or Michael Bublé, I hope you're counting because I've lost count.
No. I'm just doing what you're doing.
Oh, well, you're leading.
I don't know what I'm doing.
We'll figure it out as we go along. But yeah, so if you have a big band, you can do a little bit slower, or if you've got a Latin band playing, you can go a little bit faster. We'll do an underarm here.
Okay. And I don't have any sense of timing. I'm just doing what you're doing. So what am I supposed to be listening for here?
Yeah, so it can either be the drum or the bass beat. If you have an ear out for the downbeat of the song, that's maybe your 1 typically. And then you're just going to count through the phrase. So with this song, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that's not where I was.
And that takes some time to kind of figure out where those downbeats are.
Okay.
All right. Very nice. Hopefully everybody kept up with us there. We'll go ahead and turn this down. All right. Yeah, so something that you just brought up was how in the world do we find what the tempo is?
Or where to start.
Where to start, how to count it, what do we do about that, right? So we can do maybe another stream next week. Maybe that'll be the topic for next Friday about music identification and what music works with what different dance styles, what dance styles work with what different music. But when it comes to finding the downbeat, for me personally, my ear goes to wherever the bass beat or the drum is with, yeah, chicka chicka boom, exactly. So if, I'll get to it. So I listen for whatever the strongest bassiest beat is. So if you have like a dance electronica song, you're kind of used to that, right? Maybe, possibly. In pop music, the easiest way is to listen for where a verse or a verbal phrase restarts, because it's almost always going to be on a 1. So if you have like Michael Bublé's Sway, the moment that he says, when marimba rhythms start to play, that when is going to be your 1 count. And from there, you just need to find where those strong beats continue to hit. Those will be your 1, 3, 5, 7 normally. Waltz and Viennese waltz are going to be the outliers in that. Waltz is in a 3/4 signature, so you're only going to be able to find 3 counts. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, let's not get that complicated.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. The other thing is going to be trial and error for a lot of folks in the beginning, and then having either an instructor or someone else with a musical ear that can kind of read you into it.
Or just count in your ear.
Or just count in your ear the entire time. Yeah, so if you are in a situation where you have a partner or a significant other or a family member that you're working on this with tonight or in the future that is musically inclined, just ask them, hey, can you count me in? Because I'm having trouble finding that beat. So Max pointed out chicka chicka boom. So you will often hear dance instructors verbalize or sing the counts rather than quick, quick, slow. So chica, chica, boom, chica, chica, boom. We're kind of mimicking the sounds that you hear. I know, it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. But we're mimicking the sound of the music to find that beat or to find a way to communicate that beat to students.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, I know. We're all crazy. We kind of sing the music. But it helps to kind of verbalize. If you're a more advanced student or you get to a point where you're a more advanced student, you're probably going to have instructors tell you to breathe through the music or personify your breath. So if I'm doing something like a samba where I go, ta-ta, ta-ta, the breath actually helps me move through my body, which helps me keep on beat, which helps me do all of my lovely samba rhythm.
Okay.
We'll get there eventually. Maybe.
Some of us might.
You don't have to get there eventually.
Some of us won't.
We can keep it very, very simple. But yeah. For me, rumba is probably the easiest one to find because outside of the waltzes, because it works with most of your music that's pop oriented, and pop tends to be very clear where its downbeats are. So
all right.
I can't play it on stream, but afterwards, turn on George Strait's I Just Want to Dance With You. It's got the easiest to follow rhythm in my mind because it just kind of smacks you in the face with what the count is supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, practice makes perfect, so the more you practice it, the easier it gets.
All right.
Yeah. Any other questions or suggestions or recommendations from chat before we move on? How's everybody doing? So we've got Max and Josh. Who else do we have? Going insane? Oh no, why are you going insane? Just because of quarantine stuff? Yeah. I imagine that hit water polo pretty hard too, Josh. I imagine that you are going crazy without all of your teens to watch out for at the pool. How's everybody else doing? We saw Max. I'm assuming that's Max. You're doing own personal workouts, or you're having the kids do workouts via Zoom? Because that would be interesting to kind of learn about. Yes, it is Max. Awesome. Hi, Max. The delay is fantastic. All right. Well, we will chat more here in a moment. I want to add on. Yes, I have the captain's host of workouts. That's so cool. See, that's fantastic. We are adapting. We are learning. I am so excited to see all of the different fitness programs and non-traditional jobs that find a way to work online. So that's exciting. Let's move on to our rotating box because it would be very boring if we stayed in the same spot the entire time. So let me demonstrate the footwork for that. Just like with our box basic, the footwork for both the lead and the follow is going to be the same for both partners. The difference is, as a follow, I will be starting backwards on my right first and then going forward on my left second, just like I do with my basic. So footwork for my rotating box, I'm going to turn away from camera so that you can follow along with me again. So I'm starting forward on that left. I'm going to turn to my left, however. So instead of stepping directly forward, actually I'm going to turn so I'm kind of on my angles. So instead of stepping directly forward on my left, I'm going to turn 90 degrees to my left. So I have slow, side, together. I'm now facing my new wall. Now I'm going to step backwards on my right, but as I do so, I'm going to turn my toe underneath. So I'm turning my toe in, taking a side step, closing my feet. Then I'm going to go forward again to my left, slow, side, together. And then I'm going to finish this by going backwards on my right, underneath my body, slow, side, together, to get back to where I started at the beginning. So I'm going to demonstrate that one more time, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about those rotations. So I'm stepping forward on my left, turning to my left, and I have slow, side, together. From here, I'm going to go backwards, rotating underneath my body, slow with my right, side, together, forward on my left to the left, slow, side, together, and I'm going to finish going backwards on my right underneath my body, back, side, together. So a couple of things that I want to talk about before we try this with a partner. The first is going to be left foot versus right foot. So in our basic box, we're going forward on my left, side together, backwards on the right, side together. We're doing the exact same thing with our rotating box. We're just turning each of those halves 90 degrees in a perfect world, and we'll get to that in a second. For me, and for a lot of my students, the easiest way to remember this is I'm going to be externally rotating with my left. I'm turning my left foot out, and I'm internally rotating or turning in with my right foot when I'm going backwards. So just so you can kind of see this straight on, as I'm going forward on my left, I'm turning my toe out away from my body and then stepping through and together. As I'm coming backwards, if I do this again straight on, I'm turning my toe in towards my body and then side together. So I have out, side together, in, side together, out, side together, in, and side together. The other thing that's going to be super crucial is that we always turn clockwise around a point in the middle of our rotation. So I have a box that I can kind of scoot. If I take this box just as a center point, if I had an overhead view of my rotation, as I go around this box, I'm turning clockwise the entire time. So I can get back to where I started every single time. If I do that again, left, right, left, and right, and I'm back to where I started, going clockwise around that circle. If you find as you try this, either on your own or with a partner, that you're kind of traveling around the floor, that means that you're probably turning out both times instead of out and then in. But hopefully that will make sense here when we put it with a partner. So I'm gonna bring Matt back and we are going to try this together. Now, when you put it with a partner, weird things can happen. And we're gonna discuss all of the weird things that could potentially happen once we try it. So I'm gonna have everybody try it first. If you've got a partner, please grab them and we will try it, and then we'll talk about all of the ways that we might run into problems. So,
how would you like me?
Let's keep it consistent. I'll have my back to everybody, you have your front to everybody. So our frame and hold is the same, it's consistent. I wanna make sure that I'm offset. So Matt is gonna go forward on his left. I'm going backwards on my right, and we're going to rotate together. So we have slow, side together. He's going backwards on his right. I'm going forward on my left. Slow, side together. And then we repeat from the top. Slow, side together, slow, side together. And this is where making sure that that coffee table is out of the way is super important, because this is going to travel a little bit more than our basic in place. So we're going to try that one more time.
All right.
We have slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, and quick, quick. So how'd everybody do? Did we survive it? Maybe, possibly, hopefully.
Okay, how did I do?
You did great.
Okay.
Yeah, you're killing it. You're doing awesome. How did you feel like you did?
I don't know. I mean, I can't judge.
You're doing awesome. You're doing awesome. Did anything feel weird? Did you have to like process anything a little bit differently as we were going through it?
I mean, again, nothing comes to mind. I always feel like I'm following you, but you are the instructor here, so maybe that's fine. And
you'll definitely have that. So if next time we talk maybe a little bit of swing and some music identification, then maybe we can have like a midweek stream and I can blindfold myself. That way you actually have to lead me.
Okay.
That would be crazy. We'll do a poll afterwards to see who wants to see that.
I guess I should ask the same question I asked the first time.
Yeah.
Which is, again, you know that you're about to make a particular turn. What am I supposed to do in a normal circumstance?
Yeah.
To lead into this turn.
Yeah. So if you are brand new, or if you're on a social dance floor and you're with a partner that you've never danced with before, I kind of refer to it as the shopping cart method. Might be a little touchy of a subject at the current moment, but as the leader, and we can talk a little bit more about frame and kind of the function of frame here too, you want to kind of think of me as a shopping cart. So if I'm pushing a shopping cart along and I don't have any tension in my body and I'm just kind of like moving whatever, then I'm going to bang my shin against that annoying little bar that they put at the bottom of every shopping cart for some unknown reason.
Okay.
You're looking at me like I'm a crazy person. Have you not done that?
I have. I'm just not sure where this is headed.
So if I'm turning an aisle, around an aisle or an end cap at the supermarket and I'm pushing my shopping cart along, everything that I do has to move together to get that shopping cart to turn. If I turn my arms but keep my body moving through, the shopping cart's going to go away from me. Or if I turn my body and don't move my arms, then I'm going to kick the shopping cart. So I want you to think almost like you're placing me out of the way and everything has to move together.
What? I mean, okay, I guess.
Well, let's try it. Let's try it.
I mean, shopping cart is all well and good. I guess the question is, what do I need to be doing with this hand and this hand, really, fundamentally?
Yeah. So the answer is it's not in your hands. So I want your hands to just maintain space where they are, and I want you to think that you're moving with your sternum and your spine. So just either take a step directly towards me or rotate.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
And then if we do that again. See, you turned your head without turning your arms. So everything has to move together. The other analogy that
So I really am somewhat pushing with the handle.
You're turning everything together. The other way to think about it would be you're in a body cast. So you're Frankenstein, you're in a body cast, you're in a mummy.
Sure, but this hand fundamentally is applying pressure right there at some point as I step forward, right?
Yes, it will feel like that.
Okay.
I tend to avoid using that analogy because what that ends up being is a push of the lady where I actually move my arm.
Okay.
Which isn't pleasant. And it's breaking your frame. So the idea of frame is that everything moves together. So no matter where I move, my elbows and shoulders, once they're locked into place, and we can get into that in a future stream.
Beach ball.
Beach ball, exactly.
Yeah.
I want to move that beach ball with me. I don't want to move my body and leave the beach ball where it is, and I don't want to throw the beach ball without moving the rest of my body. So everything has to move together.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
We'll see.
Let's try it. Let's try it. So I'm just going to count slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. And I'm going to have you decide at a random interval when you're going forward on your left that you want to rotate. And we'll see what happens.
Okay. But then we're doing a box.
Yes.
As well as this.
Yes. We're doing basic boxes. And at some point, you're going to switch to your rotation.
All right.
And we have slow, quick.
Okay.
Yeah, you're driving. Yeah, you're driving.
Okay.
And we have slow, quick, slow, quick, slow. There we go. Quick, slow, quick.
Now,
quick,
am I allowed to only do 3?
Yeah.
Or 2 or 1?
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe not for the purposes of this.
Well, no, you could certainly do that. So if you wanted to kind of test me, if you wanted to see if I was actually following you, you could do exactly what you just did, which is do a quarter turn and then randomly stop.
Are you still counting? Am I still in time?
Quick, slow. Yeah, you're maintaining time. The other thing you could do if you really wanted to is you could start your rotation backwards on your right. So exactly what you just did. You could start it backwards on your right instead of forward on your left. That also works.
Is that what I did?
That is what you did. You did it without even realizing it. It just happened. Analogy, think you're a bear hugging a giant beach ball. Yeah. I mean, if I have to be a beach ball for the purposes of the metaphor, I'm kind of okay with that. So So body cast, mummy, shopping cart, holding a beach ball, whatever you want to think. You just want to kind of keep your arms out of it as much as possible, and you want to move everything with the spine through.
All right.
Yeah. In case you run into this issue, and since I didn't see any panicked help, something went horribly wrong in the chat, I'm assuming everybody's okay. The other thing that potentially will happen with the rotation is we aren't moving pivot point and arc. Meaning, if you are the person going backwards, you are the pivot point. So you're taking a very small step with a lot of rotation. The person that's going forward is the arc around the pivot point. So they're going to have less rotation, but larger steps.
Wait, so who has the bigger steps? I'm sorry.
Whoever's going forward, which is going to be you half of the time, and it's going to be me half of the time.
Sure.
Right? So if we go right into our rotation, you're going to place me, out of your way. And in doing so, I'm going to take very small steps so that you can create the arc around me. So you have slow, quick, quick. Then as you go backwards, you're going to do the same thing for me. So you're going to take a very small step, place yourself out of my way, and that way I'm going to take a big step to get around and past you.
Was that the right size?
That was very nice. The second half, I'm going to demonstrate doing this incorrectly. So I'm just going to take big steps across the board, and I want you to tell me how that feels and what happens. All right?
Sure.
Okay, so you're going to rotate. Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick.
Those were very big.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're roughly the same height, but if you have a significant height difference with your partner, this could really be a problem in that someone's going to feel like they're taking massive steps and someone's going to feel like they're taking really, really little steps. And you just kind of have to adjust based on what's comfortable for you and your partner.
Right, and I assume the alignment would have been problematic had we kept going.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right,
The alignment being off as soon as I come across your center line, or if I end up way out here where we're not even really connected to each other anymore.
There's no beach ball there.
Yeah. As soon as the beach ball becomes a hot dog, you've got problems.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's try that with music. Oh, that was the other thing that I was going to mention. We're doing everything with 90 degrees, but on a social dance floor, you don't have to. So I like to use 90 because it's a really easy checkpoint, especially if I have a square or rectangular room. I can just check all 4 of my walls and kind of go, okay, I made it through turn 1, I made it through turn 2, I made it through turn 3. But when you're out on a social dance floor, I would use wherever you start as your guide point to wherever you end. And if you're doing 45s or 36s or 16-degree turns, it doesn't really matter. I would just say however long it takes you to get back to where you started, that's where you should end your rotation and go into some basics or an underarm turn or something else to just kind of break it up.
Wait, so are you saying you need to complete an entire circle?
You don't have to. Okay. What I definitely would not do is do more than one rotation at a time.
Okay.
So 360 is the sweet spot. Anything past 360, you're just asking for the alignments to get a little bit fuzzy or for someone to get dizzy.
Okay. I'm just... originally, I had asked the question if you could do just one.
Yeah.
But now you're saying potentially do an entire circle.
No. You could do a 90-degree turn and stop and just chill there for a while.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, if you're going to do continuous turns,
okay,
I would stop once you get back to where you started.
Okay.
I wouldn't push it past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Good clarification to make, though. Absolutely. Let's put it all together because, oh my goodness, it's been 50 minutes. Let's put it all together. So we'll do 2 basics, an underarm turn.
Okay.
2 basics, and then a full rotation to get back to where we started.
2 basics, turn, 2 basics, rotation.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't use the word turn and rotation because maybe those are confusing, but...
So it depends instructor to instructor. I use turn as I will typically specify like underarm turn, which means one person is doing the actual turn itself.
Okay.
And then I use rotation as in we are moving together around a point.
All right.
Eventually that separation and differentiation breaks down, but it's a ways down the road. We'll get there when we get there.
You can explain that to me next time then.
Yes. Let's do that once with counts, just to make sure everybody's on the same page, and then we'll try it with music.
You don't want to like boom chicka boom or anything? Whatever it was that came up earlier, I don't remember.
Chica chica boom.
Yeah, sure.
I can count it that way if you want.
No, I really don't.
Okay.
Seems weird.
So we're starting with 2 basics. We have slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, underarm, slow, side release, slow, quick, quick, slow.
I don't know if that's the right time.
Quick, quick, slow, quick, 2 basics, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, slow. We'll rotate, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, slow, and quick, quick. We survived!
Was that correct?
Yes, that was awesome. That was awesome. If I was going to be super nitpicky, only because you're you, that left hand, when you led me into the underarm turn, could be a little bit more gentle. It was a little bit like, ready, okay. Yeah, it could be a little bit more guiding.
Okay.
But otherwise, no, that was awesome. That was awesome.
All right.
Let's try it with music. More royalty-free YouTube music. A little bit slower for everybody. So it gives us plenty of time to focus.
Sure, as long as you count.
Sure.
Am I starting over here now?
Sure, we'll flip it around.
Okay. Beach ball.
Beach ball. 2 basics to start. 5, 6, 7, and slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Underarm turn, slow. Quick, release, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, 2 basics. We're gonna rotate next. Quick,
Yeah,
quick,
you should really be
slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. And we'll do it again. Basic. Slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Underarm turn, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow.
Is that too early?
Quick, quick, slow. It's a little early.
Okay.
Slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Rotating box. Slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. And quick, quick.
All right.
Nice! Not bad.
I'll take your word for it.
Not too shabby. So one thing that I do really quickly want to talk about is that underarm turn. So timing on the underarm turn and then how we kind of lift that hand are going to be super important to making sure that we're comfortable as lead and as follow as well. So we want to make sure that we're raising that hand as we're taking a step back as a lead. If you raise it too early, you're giving her too much leeway. So I could decide that I want to turn the other direction, that I want to turn underneath the arm. I could try and sneak out too early, a whole bunch of different issues.
Yeah, because I was raising my arm way earlier.
Yeah. So it's as you're taking that step back, you're going to think about it as creating space. The reason for that really is because I'm not starting my turn until you're taking your side step. Because I have to wait for your foot to get out of the way too. So if I'm an overly excited follow, and I'm just blankly going wherever you're leading, bad things could happen. So if we try that real quick.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you raise your hand where you have been raising your hand.
Which is like there.
Yeah. So the problem is my momentum is taking me this way, but you just raised my hand. So I'm going to do like one of these.
Okay.
Or I could 100% fight my own momentum if we do that again. Slow, quick, slow. Oh. Right? And I'm just off on my own. So you want to make sure that it's as the lead is stepping back that you're raising that hand. So if we try it the correct way now.
Okay.
So we have slow, quick.
So like here.
Slow. Okay. Yes. And
was that too fast?
That's
still too fast.
So it's a little bit too fast.
Okay.
The other thing that we often forget is that we do have elbows. The tendency is to be like, raise the hand and straighten that elbow. And that creates a lot of jolt on your partner's shoulder and potentially on your own shoulder. So it's just more of a gradual, nice and easy. The human body is an amazing thing. If I put my hand at a 90-degree level, my fingertips are above my own head. If I take a step.
Is that like the thing where you put your hand on your face to see which is bigger?
Yeah, except it's not for trolls.
Oh, okay.
No, so all you have to do if you're raising your hand as a lead, all you have to do is raise it so that your partner's hand is at a 90-degree level, and then I can walk underneath our hands without you worrying about popping me in the face. I think most leads are overly cautious about hitting their partners, so they raise the hand way too high, and that's just going to impact my ability to kind of get around my circle.
Well, and to be fair, you're very tall.
I am very tall, but again, I can turn underneath my own hand. You don't have to raise it that high.
Okay.
That was honestly the only thing that I miss about dancing at when I used to teach at the middle school with the 11-year-old boys that hadn't hit their growth spurts yet. When they had to dance with me to demonstrate with Miss Samantha, they were like, do I have to jump to turn you? And it's like, no, sweetie, I can turn underneath my own hand. It's okay. So you'll be fine.
Okay.
So we have slow, quick, gentle release and lift. There you go. Bend that elbow for me. There we go. Much better.
Okay. So you commented on the fact that I was moving too quickly. So
yes.
Can I start as I'm coming back and then finish
as you're taking the side step?
Okay. Yeah. That just felt very, very late in the process to me.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, you don't want to push it too late. You still want to give the signal to the lady, a clear signal that you would like her or your partner, rather, to turn at that moment.
Okay.
So you don't want to push it too late. And that's something that as you and your partner kind of dance with more frequently, you'll find that timing, you'll find that natural rhythm.
Okay.
It just takes time and practice.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other burning questions?
No.
No? Are you danced out for the moment?
But it's, it's unknown unknowns, right? Like I don't know what I don't know. So I don't know what to ask a question about.
Yeah, and I get that a lot from a lot of my students too, is I normally ask at the end, like, hey, do you have any questions? Do you need anything clarified? And they're like, oh. Yeah. Should I be asking questions? Yeah, probably. But if you don't have any questions in that moment, that doesn't mean that you won't have questions later on. Yeah. So between now and the next stream, which hopefully will be same time next week, if you are practicing this at home throughout the week and you have questions, just write them down and we can kind of address them when we see you guys next time.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are things I'm doing with my hands that I'm not supposed to be doing with my hands. I'm probably doing things with my feet that I'm not supposed to be doing with my feet.
We have not gotten to fit feet, knees, ankles, hips yet. When we get to that and we talk about Cuban action, but that's not for everybody, and that's the great thing about we'll move a little bit closer to you guys. That's the great thing about ballroom dance is there are levels, and at any point you can be like, okay, this is my happy place.
We may have just found my happy place.
And that's okay too. I personally recommend the basic 6, which is have 6 easy steps in 6 different dance styles. So from the ballroom world perspective, that would be waltz, foxtrot, tango, rumba, cha-cha, and swing. But you could substitute any of those out for a different dance style that you prefer, and that'll get you through most of the social music that gets played.
Sure. And the things we just did count as 2 of the 6?
3.
Does the box count as 1?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the great thing about the basic. That's a pattern.
Oh.
So you already are halfway through your American Rumba to get your basic 6. So yeah, 6 steps in 6 dances is a really good place for most beginners to start.
So I'm 1/2 of 1/6 of the way to being basic.
Decent. Yes.
Okay. That's real exciting.
It takes time. It takes time.
All right.
But I will let you and everybody at home know that you actually have learned 6 steps or 6 patterns in. You've learned 3 patterns in 2 different dance styles.
So, what now?
So everything that we just did in American Rumba.
We can do it backwards.
No.
Okay.
Everything that we just did in American Rumba that we were counting as slow, quick, if we instead count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we can do it in waltz too. And it's the same first 3 steps that I teach in waltz.
What? So does that just mean twice as fast?
No. In a lot of cases, it's actually going to feel a lot slower.
Oh. We'll just have to cross that bridge when we come to it.
We'll have a whole stream just on waltz to kind of clarify the difference between the 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
So those 3 patterns are what I want to start with because, like Matt said, those 3 patterns can be a really great starting place to practice throughout the week. So practice those. And then since it's a little bit after 8, we can hang out for a couple of minutes and just chat and answer questions you might have, talk about how much, isolation is different and weird, and
this is a little weird.
Yeah. We've been married for just over 4 years, together for like 7?
I'll trust your judgment.
7.5, 8 this fall, I think. And this is really the first time that you've let me actually teach you how to dance.
Yeah, I mean, that should be clear to folks. You're a dance instructor. I'm clearly not. This is about as good as it gets for me.
You did about this much. You did a little bit more than this for our wedding, because we did have a first dance that you let me choreograph and you put up with, and you did very well at. But yeah, we do not dance at home. You don't have a competitive background. You've never really danced.
No.
So he is learning along with everybody else, which is fun.
It's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it helps me
and it
too.
only took a plague to get us here.
It only took the end of the world to get us to this point.
Yeah.
But it's really good for me too, because now I know like what questions beginners have, what issues we run into. Not that my students don't normally verbalize those as well, or that I wouldn't correct the same things that I just corrected with you, but the instant feedback is kind of nice when we're doing something like this.
And obviously we have a different relationship than your average student, so
yeah.
I maybe I'm a little bit more blunt. Maybe I'm less blunt. I don't know.
I think you put up with my back leading longer than most students would. To be
because I don't know
honest.
what I'm doing, so
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we can hang out. We can chat for a little bit. My plan is to definitely do Friday nights at 7 p.m. for the next couple of weeks and kind of do the same format where we do a little bit of dance instruction, a little bit of practice, a little bit of chatting. I might decide to add on a Wednesday stream as well and do that more like wedding dance focused, because I know a lot of my students and just other general people want some basics for wedding stuff that can also be super simple and super easy, and you can get a jump start on your first dances or parent dances.
Do you have like a 3-foot dance where you can leave appropriate distance for the coronavirus between your 2 dancers?
I can make one.
So, yeah, the social distancing dance.
The social distancing dance. It's funny because we always joke about like, you want to do more than the 13-year-old shuffle.
People may say that. I don't know that I say that.
People, when they come in for dance lessons, they're like, as long as I can do more than the 13-year-old shuffle, or here in Utah, the deacon dance, then you're good. And unfortunately, that's exactly the dance that would probably get you through a plague, because you're
kind of, they're still touching.
Yeah.
And those hands are dangerously close to my face.
Fair enough. So maybe that's not any better. Yeah.
I'll leave that to your expertise.
I'll have to put together like a line dance where you can
line dances
stay
might
6 feet away from your partner.
That might be right in the wheelhouse. And when you do the little steeple thing, you just have to make sure your hands don't touch.
I think you're thinking of square dancing, darling.
Oh, is that different? I don't know.
Or real dance.
I mean, isn't a square just extra lines?
So a line dance is like the electric slide.
Okay.
Where everybody's just next to each other and you're all doing the same choreography, but you're not actually dancing with a partner.
Okay. Those are things I think I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's different than a square dance.
It's different than a square dance.
Okay.
A square dance is like tie a yellow ribbon around that old tree. Did you not have to do that?
I don't know what any of this means.
Okay, tell me in the 5 people that are hanging out with us. Let me know in the comments real quick. If you had to do a square dance like curriculum as part of your elementary PE class, because in Howard County we definitely did.
I mean, I vaguely remember something as a kid, but it's certainly never stayed with me.
Like that was something that we got a grade on. Like
I remember the hokey pokey. Does that count?
No.
The hokey pokey's neither a square dance nor a line dance.
Put your right foot in. Put your right foot in. No.
Yeah.
No, that is a group dance. You could consider that a line dance, maybe.
So now we have line dances, square dances, and group dances.
And then you have period dances, historical dances. Someone else says yes. Yes. Okay. So it's not just a Maryland thing. We had to do fantastic. So Regency era dances is where you get into like the reels and the large mass group choreography that everybody knew how to do with big ball gowns and top hats. There's a lot of different dance out there.
I remember we went LARPing once, and there was a pole, and there were lots of ribbons.
It's a maypole.
Okay, and
that's completely different from everything else.
Okay, that was weird. I would put that in maybe the hokey pokey ballpark, though. Maybe?
I won't.
I don't know.
I won't comment. I will let someone else in the chat inform you the difference between reels, maypole dances, and the hokey pokey.
All right, I think we're just getting into technicalities now.
Probably,
all
definitely,
right.
Maybe. Okay, so that we stop bickering amongst ourselves, how are you guys doing? How are you guys holding up? I heard from Josh that you're surviving water polo by making your coaches do workouts through Zoom. How else are we doing? Did I lose Max and Claire, or are we still there? Totally the same. Yes, 100% they're the same thing. Yes, we're still here. Fantastic. Are you surviving? Is it just a Max, or is it a Max and Claire? As you can tell, I'm still trying to figure out the delay on when I say things and when you guys hear it. Just Max. Okay. I saw that you were doing construction or something at the studio. We'll have to chat on Facebook about what all that was about, because it looked quite interesting.
As long as there weren't 10 people in the room.
Only 5?
Might have been 4 too many.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happened there. On the ladies' room, we'll have to chat on Facebook. I want to know what ended up happening there, because you know me. I've got feelings on everything. So that's 3 of the people, because I think my folks left as well. He's out. So I'll stay on for another minute or two. before we have to cook dinner to chat with folks. Because as you can tell, I'm taking social isolation so well that it finally forced me to try a live stream just so I could talk to other people on the internet. But yeah, my plan, like I said, is maybe do a Wednesday stream for weddings and then continue this stream on Fridays. Next week, maybe we'll do some East Coast swing. We'll start with single time, maybe play with some triple time, and talk about music identification. Because music...
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing for me, is I have absolutely no idea when a song comes on the radio what is actually being played.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways of tackling that.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of go with the... Oop, I just touched my face. You're touching your face. No! I kind of go with the elimination game. So if I can't count to 4, if I can only find 3 beats, I know it's a waltz. Like, that's an easy, like, check.
Okay.
If it sounds like Hernando's Hideaway, which I'll try and find a copyright-free version to play, or an accordion or a violin, or you can just count tango to it, then it's a tango. So those two are...
I don't know what that means.
I know. We'll get there. We'll get there. The stuff that's kind of in that middle, like Latin 4/4 that could be a salsa or a cha-cha or a rumba, or you could maybe swing to it, or it kind of sounds like a samba, or you're a West Coast person and everything sounds like West Coast swing, although I love you. It gets tricky.
What is like the 90% of stuff you hear in a bar or a club? Because it all sounds the same.
Yeah, so...
And it's normally been remixed by someone to even more so sound the same.
Yeah, so I would say if you are at a pop or R&B or rock concert or music venue, it's going to be rumba or swing. Okay. More often than not, rumba or swing. Pop, you'll potentially get some cha-cha. But rumba and swing are normally the two that I start with.
Let's say we're in the club.
We're in the club.
Yeah. Might even be listening to in the club.
In the club. West Coast swing.
Mm-hmm.
Bachata. Or I would put it under the it's just not ballroom danceable.
Okay. So like if we did this in the club.
In the club.
Probably not gonna.
Probably not. Okay. Not a good call.
Okay.
R&B though. If you get to like date night music, like...
Isn't all of it really date night music?
Well...
I mean, in the club is date night.
Yeah, it's a different date though. I guess if you get to more like the R&B romantic music, that would probably be more like the nightclub two-step or rumba or potentially bolero, but bolero is not really social dance.
Is that the Matador thing?
No, that's Paso Doble.
Oh, okay.
or flamenco. Yeah. So I'm seeing two-step and West Coast swing. So those are dances.
And you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. And both of you boys know that I'm not going to be teaching it for a very long time. I got other dances that I can go through. Two-step, I would rather talk about foxtrot too, because unless you're going to a country bar, like if you go to the Westerner, you're going to want to know country two-step.
Mm-hmm.
Or Texas two-step, or Arizona two-step, or triple two, or whatever version of two you want to dance. I prefer foxtrot because I'm a snobby ballroom person. And I own that, and I know that about myself. It's just flipped. Except it's not. It's very different.
Well, that's not helpful at all.
But no, so it's the difference between counting slow, quick to Frank Sinatra's Fly Me to the Moon, or listening to Chattahoochee and going quick, slow.
I don't know what that is either. Let's say Despacito gets played.
Despacito is going to either be a salsa or a samba.
Okay. Okay. That's probably what's really the important takeaway here.
Yeah. All of the pop music that came out not all, 90% of the pop music that came out in the last 2 years were sambas.
That's the difficult one, right?
It's not easy.
Okay.
I feel like if you're...
Great. My Fridays are going to be real exciting in the future.
Yes, Foxtrot is on the list. I don't want to learn it. Yes, you can West Coast swing to a wide variety of music. So yeah, pop music or jazz music or like R&B music, you can West Coast swing to. Mm-hmm. I might be willing to teach a little bit of West Coast swing because I have been learning. Thank you, James. I've been working on my West Coast swing. We'll see. We might have a West Coast swing night. I just feel like I'm stepping on toes when I teach West Coast swing, which is just, it's a hang up for me.
Well, there's just the two of us here.
This is true. I could teach you West Coast swing. Maybe. Viennese waltz in the hallway. Yes. Yeah. So.
We don't have any hallways.
We don't really have any
staircases. I don't think that's where we want to teach.
We can do a single left turn and then reset to a right turn. But because so much of the wedding music right now, if you think Etta James at Last, Ed Sheeran's Perfect, Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love.
Is he still making music?
Elvis Presley?
Yeah.
No, but a lot of people I don't think Etta James is either. I might be wrong on that one. Someone fact check me. But those are all Viennese waltzes. So on Wednesday, I think I'm actually going to start with Viennese waltz and talk about how to adapt it so that it's easy, accessible, and you can do it in your home, which means you can do it on a 20 by 20.
We haven't done an actual waltz yet.
I know.
You should probably start with that before you do a Viennese waltz.
No,
right?
Even though you would think that they were remarkably similar,
based on the name,
based on the name, I don't teach them the same way. I start at two completely different starting points. Because the box step that we just did, if you do that with proper waltz technique, it's going to feel like you're running a marathon and you're only going to make it about 30 seconds at a Viennese waltz.
And we can't do that with the limited lung capacity we have thanks to Corona.
No. For anybody that's suffering from either pneumonia or bronchitis-like symptoms, we want to lower the cardio as much as possible. Yeah. So there are some tricks that I'll talk about. We'll just go ahead and say it. 7 p.m. on Wednesday, come back. We'll do a wedding 101 with Viennese waltz to start. Sorry, I just volunteered you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about kind of different options that we can play with. Oh, it's Bo and Kate. Hi, Bo and Kate. Thank you for letting me know that Etta James is sadly not with us anymore. Thank you for the fact check. I appreciate that.
I hear Elvis isn't either.
Well, I know that Elvis wasn't. Yeah. He's on a UFO with...
You've really put Ed Sheeran on a very limited list. It says a lot about his future.
I adore Ed Sheeran. He just does a lot of music that a lot of people like to use for their weddings over and over and over and over and over again. But
I'm hearing Wednesday, Viennese waltz, which I think you've told me is a very difficult dance.
It is if you are doing it technically correct by the book in a social or competitive space. I'm going to teach it as a wedding Viennese waltz, which takes a lot of kind of the prep steps that we do to get people just started with tempo, and it stays in that same family. So we're not doing any progressive basics. We're not doing any left turns or right turns or anything crazy. It's just going to be nice and simple and easy and user-friendly.
But important question, does it get me closer to completing my 1/2 of 1/6 of being basically competent?
I don't include Viennese waltz on the basic 6.
Okay.
But you could substitute it out. Or we could say that you're on the basic 7 plan.
The basic 7.
Which also works. Yeah. Just adding extra to those basics. I think we're losing Max. Bye, Max. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. So Wednesday at 7, we'll plan on talking about Viennese waltz. And then Friday at 7, we'll come back. We'll do a little bit of East Coast swing. We'll get 3 basics or 3 patterns under our belt for East Coast swing. And then we'll talk some music. And you're completely off camera. You need to take like a half step towards me. It just feels like I'm talking into my ear.
I'm trying to keep my coronavirus distance.
I think, unfortunately, for both of us, if one of us had it, we both would have it at this point. Yeah.
Especially after that waltz.
Especially after
Rumba.
American Rumba. We did American Rumba today. Yeah. So we'll plan on doing like a little like instruction for an hour and then chat for as long as people want to hang out.
Sure.
Yeah. That'll be the plan.
All right.
So thank you guys for coming out and chatting with us and kind of supporting this. It's a new format that we're still trying to figure out. Hopefully sound was good, music was good. We didn't drop a whole lot of frames as we were moving in and out. Lighting in this room, unfortunately, is going to just be terrible. So we're going to both look a little bit jaundiced.
Might be jaundiced by Wednesday. We'll see.
Don't say that.
Is that one of the symptoms?
Don't say that.
Okay.
Don't say that. All right. If you're in Utah, no more earthquakes. If you're elsewhere around the country or world, hopefully, maybe, eventually, international viewers, stay safe, stay healthy, stay indoors as much as you possibly can. And we'll see you either Wednesday or Friday, depending on what your interest level is. Bye, guys. Let's see if I can switch this. There we go.